Going back to your early days when you were first thinking of starting your business, what were the key things that were critical to the success?
You gotta plan the whole business properly. If you don't plan it, then you're gonna fail. That's the first key thing. Also, I would recommend that cash flow is important part of the business, any business you do, because that's gonna break you or make you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you gotta pay a close attention to the cash flow, and you should regularly check your bank balance so that you know that, okay, everything is working properly or it's not working for you properly. In terms of sales, I would say people generally what they do is they concentrate on the cost of sales and they forget about the sales. So I recommend that you work for the sales. You don't work for the cost of sales. You need to increase the sales in order to get the cost of sales down. If your sales are high, the cost of sale is going to go low because there is some fixed cost, yes, which is always going to bring the percentage down. So concentrate always on the sales rather than on the cost of sales.
Be brave. Mm-hmm. Do it. If you have a dream, try to follow it, but be smart about it. You know, everything costs a little bit of money, but I think be brave. That to me tells you that there's a lot of you guys out there that can open up a business and get it going. Just got to give it a shot, and it takes time. You're not going to make it happen overnight. So take your time, take the steps, and don't expect it to explode overnight. It takes, a year, 2 years. So be prepared to run the course. And the other thing is seek expertise, because you can't do it alone. You've got help in a website hosting. You've got help with your financial institution and people that you know.
Before you even start marketing, you need to understand where your brand is going to be, what you want to project in the marketplace, and how you want to project that brand into the marketplace, what your features and benefits of your brand are, and you need to eloquently and succinctly talk about your messaging out to the consumer or to the business that you're marketing to. So you really have to understand your niche. And I think in today's day and world, niching your business, niching your service, your product is extremely important because it gives you the competitive edge.
Right.
Then what you need to do on top of that is marketing that competitive edge. And how you market could be social media, it could be B2B trade shows, it could be what could be different channels. What's really, really important, I think, is also to have a website that is very understandable, very succinct, highly communicative with the end user. So when they go onto the site, they understand exactly what the site does, what the product does, what the service does.
People get so caught up in running the day-to-day that you almost forget, you still need to sell your product, right? Which is so important, yeah. So Nikki, how about for you? Lessons learned, early days.
I started with zero capital, so I know exactly which client it was. The $200, my first deposit into the bank account, which was quickly depleted. And I didn't do the extensive planning. And so I would say two things to that. First is don't be afraid to ask people for a deposit. I'm worthy of asking for a deposit, especially in the business I'm in. Once it's got your logo on it, there's no turning back, right? Yeah. So getting that cash flow in and getting a deposit. And then the other thing was I had an insane year, fantastic growth, and then cash flow was this huge issue because I didn't project and I didn't have those reserves that are now in place.
You have to have passion for it. At the end of the day, you need to have passion for what you're doing, and that it's important that you believe in what you're doing, and that it excites you every day, and that'll keep the fuel going for all of it. So I think that to me is what I would leave for the most part.
Great words.
And what I would add to the passion, because I think that is the most important thing, that you have passion and you love what you do, as long as it pays. Because quite honestly,
gotta make money.
You can love what you do and you're not getting paid for it and there's no profit in it and it's going to fail. Or you could hate what you do and make a lot of money and then something inside of you will fail.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that you have to make sure that you have.
Very important point for any entrepreneurs listening, because a lot of people go, oh, well, how do you get into a market that, it's saturated? Well, every market is saturated. It's 2017, people. Unless you've got some fancy new tech thing, everything's saturated. all you have to do is be better than someone else in that market. You're going to get market share. You know, we've never really dwelled and focused on what the competition's doing or trying to buy competitive data sets which are available for sale, because
Right.
believe in your strategy and plan and execute.
So, you know, we talked a little bit about accountability of the team and making sure that they own that passion. That's what your strategy does. It keeps you as owners focused on the big picture, so not necessarily down into the weeds of running the business on a daily basis, but actually, you know, keeping yourselves accountable to saying, you know, this is where I want the business to be. I want my business to be here 50 years from now. So what do I need to do to ensure that that's going to happen?
You have to be intrepid, because confidence breeds good business. Even if you make mistakes, if you're confident going in, just do it. Just make that decision. If it backfires on you, just believe in it and just pick up your boots and go.